Well, hello and welcome back to Adventure Wild Camping. It's December. I've decided to knock something off a bucket list. I've never camped sort of in winter before, you know, December, January, February. Not gonna lie, a little bit trepidatious about it, but I've come back to Glen Etive, okay? Now I've come here for a couple of different reasons. Firstly, I know I can get here in the car. I can park the car. It's literally parked like 50 metres from where my camp is set up. Now what I've done is I've got here and I've set the camp up straight away because I'm worried that if the weather turns or if, you know, if it gets dark quick, something like that, yeah, I want to make sure the camp's all set up and I'm good to go. So I'll just give you a quick tour. Okay, so there's the camp. So I've got my chair. I'm going to be using an existing fire pit, and just a brief message for other people that come here. There's a fire pit there. Why do you need one there and then one there? I mean, why? You know, you're in this beautiful scenery. You see the snow-capped mountains in the background. Bit of a waterfall there. And as you come around, it just doesn't get better than that, you know? So I'll give you a brief tour of the camp. That's where my backside will be. So this is where I've put my fire sort of closer to my tent. Chair's gonna go here. I've brought my own wood with me. A couple of cooking pots. And this is food. Now I've got to give a special mention to this. Stormtrooper ale, so it's Galactic Pale Ale. Absolutely super thank you to my other half, so thank you for that, Angela. And then inside I've got a fleece blanket on the ground, well obviously, you know, tent, and then fleece blanket, then I've got a self-inflating mattress, then my sleeping bag, and you just see I've got another fleece blanket there. So 3 seasons sleeping bag. I think I'll be warm enough, to be fair. I've never actually been cold camping in this sleeping bag. And I bought myself a new winter coat, which I'm sure you'll see it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, going to have a well-deserved rest, and then I'll get back to you when I'm cooking. So this evening I'm not doing a marinade, I'm doing lobby or corned beef hash. So it's a bit more of a winter meal, it'll help keep me warm, and I'll get back to you when I'm making that. Alright, thanks very much, bye now. Okay, so welcome back. Right, cookery time. I bought myself a new zebra pot with a little moley insert thing. So I'm going to be cooking myself tonight Lobbies, which is basically corned beef chopped up with some carrot, some onion and some potato. I've got a little bit of mustard and mustard sauce to go in to give it a bit of flavour, and obviously topping it up with the water. So it's I'm shouting a little bit because it's quite noisy here by the river, so yeah, I managed to work that. There you go, look at that. Yeah, I haven't done one of these in about 20 years. And I picked this because somebody was talking about it at work, and it just gave me all these memories of when I was a kid, because my mum used to make this meal a lot. It's quite a cheap meal, isn't it? And it's one of them meals that it warms you up in winter, and you know, what you don't eat one day, you can just reheat it the next day. And she's very frugal like that, my mum. You know, she didn't waste anything. So apparently I did a bit of research on it, and it's like, yeah, you know, it's basically, it's the poor person's meal, and it's not particularly healthy. There's like a lot of salt in it and that. But it's just nice sometimes, isn't it, to go back to something that just reminds you of your childhood. So there's all the meat in. There's a bit of fat there, we'll chuck that. Someone will eat that in the night. And then next, I'm not using all these ingredients, mainly because I'm starving. And I forgot how long this takes to cook. I'm making a right hash of this, aren't I? Hey, hash, do you get it? So I'm using white onions. I kind of see, you know, white onions are for cooking, red onions are for eating on sandwiches and salads and whatnot. I'm sure there's plenty of chefs will tell me different, but I just cook what I like, really. You just chuck it in, and then a few carrots. All I'm doing is chopping the heads off a few of these little carrots. I'll chuck them in, and I'm just going to leave this sort of next to the fire to heat through. You know, it's not, I don't think there's any rocket science to this meal. And the thing is, to be fair, all this lot, you can actually eat it raw if you want to do. You know, you don't have to wait for it to cook. But there we go. And then got a few potatoes. Should have put my rubbish in there, shouldn't I chopped the potatoes up a bit smaller because it always seems to be them that takes forever to cook. I'm not a big fan of potatoes. I don't mind chips, but like, you know, boiled potatoes and stuff like that. So I think that's enough in there actually. So there we go. Now, a bit of the old Worcester sauce. Good dollop of it. And then we'll just do the same with decent blob of mustard. And there we go, there's that. Now, we get the water, we sort of pour it on top of the mustard, try and spread it out a little bit. I didn't bring any salt and pepper with me because, you know, I forgot. But there's that, like so. Just gonna put these back in the bag. And then there is Lobbies, all ready to go on, and it'll slow cook, which is a bit frustrating because I'm absolutely starving. Well, that's what you get for rushing in the morning, isn't it? Right, I'll tidy my mess up. Remember, leave no trace, especially things that like that. I mean, again, here there's bottle tops. I found, you know, bits of metal off wood that people have burned. And there's just fire pits everywhere. Just use the same ones, people, seriously. But obviously I'm going to pack this lot up. I always bring extra bags with me for rubbish, and I take everything away. Right, well, I'll get back to you when I'm lighting the fire and I'm getting the food on. Hi guys, so really feeling starving hungry now. I'm really starving hungry. So what I've done is I've lit the fire, and then I'm debating sort of how to do this. There it is, you can see it there now. Can you, oh, just hang on. The fire's going, so I just kind of want to leave this next to, but I think there's like a weird grit. I think it's just wet ash, but I'm just going to leave it there next to the fire to cook. but if it falls over, you're probably going to hear a man cry. I think it'll get plenty of heat off there, but I'm worried if I put it on top, it'll just boil and stuff will just stick to the bottom of the pan. But it's starting to get dark, it's starting to get cold. Like I say, I've brought plenty of wood with me. I've got softwood, I've got hardwood. I've got softwood to get the fire going. Just chuck it in. Let the combustion reaction do its thing. And then there you go. But I can feel the cold on my back, and I can see the cold in my breath, so I don't think it'll be long before I get the big coat out. Well, I'll get back to you shortly. It's actually getting quite dark now. It doesn't look like that on the camera. But what I've done is, I'll just show you. I've built up some stones around the fire to try and act as a bit of a heat reflector, because it is getting cold. Like I say, I've always wanted to do something like this in winter time. It's Joe Robinette's fault. You know, when you see him like out in the snow, like -20 whatever, up in northern Canada, and it just looks cool. It looks amazing. Now I'm certainly no Joe Robinette when it comes down to this sort of bushcraft type malarkey. You can tell by the fact I bring everything in most stuff in Sainsbury's bags. But it's going all right, and I'll just show you now. I hope you can see it. Well, this is beautiful. Just hang on. Let me see if I can show you. There's cloud coming in over snow-capped mountains, you know. Just what a welcome relief after lockdown too. Saw a thing on Facebook, lockdown 2 Electric Avenue. Not gonna lie, I couldn't not mention that. It just made me laugh every time I saw it. But I've got my new coat on. It's got like a big hood that I can put up. You can see my car there in the background, and if need be, you know, I can jump in that and put the heaters on. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try one of these. Yeah, it's one of those little gifts that your other half gets you that just like makes your day. And Galactic Pale Ale. Give it a whirl. Do you know what? That is actually really nice. It really is. Yeah, it's quite smooth and easy going, you know. Kind of like me. Well, except for the smooth part. But show you the food. It's going to take ages to cook there. But you know what? So what? It's not late, and just going to have a nice evening. I can't believe how much quieter. I'm literally the only person out camping. I think the last time I was out here was like 2-3 months ago. It was sort of like jostling for spots. But I'm hoping it stays dry. The Met Office said it would. But just in for a nice evening. This fire reflector's helping a bit. It's getting the heat back to me, and so's the coat, you know. Well, can have my beer, and I'll get back to you when the food's ready. So cheers. Hello. Believe it or not, believe it or not, it's not even 5:30. My food's taking forever to cook, and I've drank all 4 of those beers. I've not actually eaten today. So, any road. What a night. Just what a night. This really is a bucket list thing ticked off. In fact, the only thing that will put me off doing this again is getting stuck in the snow in my car. because I've just got like a, you know, a normal sort of family hatchback, front wheel drive, you know. But what I've had to do, I'll just show you. I've had to expand on my fire a bit. Just putting little bits of wood in the stove, it just didn't kick off enough heat. But what I've done is I've boxed my fire in with stones, and it was in an existing fire pit. I've got the stones from the river. I've done my best to get ones that were pretty much dry, so that there's not the danger of, you know, trapped water inside the stones, expanding to steam, etc. But I can't believe it's not even 5:30. It's just absolutely brilliant. I'm loving this. Just get out and do it, and just try it. Every now and again you get the odd car that comes past, and it's really weird watching the moonlight bounce off the water, because it seems to light stuff up, and then a car goes past like that and it proper freaks you out. And I've had the old car sort of stop, and this was like before it got dark, and I sort of waved to them and they waved back. It's almost like a salute of fair play to you, mate, camping out at this time of year. You know, what a wonderful place this is. Anyway, enough of me yakking on, and I'll get back to you soon. What an excellent evening this is. Hi. Hang on. Oh no, that's well worse. Right. So, food's pretty much ready. Just realised I didn't bring a spoon, and it's pretty much a soup. So, I've took the lid off. I'm going to let it evaporate off, get it down a lot thicker, and then hopefully I'll have a decent something or other to eat. Anyway, every single star is out tonight. It is beautiful tonight. I don't think my camera could pick it up, but oh mate, if you've got something on your bucket list, just research it, take more than you need, and just let it happen, because it is totally worth it. Alright. Hello. Well, I think finally the food is ready. It's going to be a bit difficult to get it off the fire, but oh dear God. Oh, it's all going Pete tongue. Oh. Oh. Okay, so hang on, let me see if get your light. Hang on. So it's well heated. I've got a couple of arms. I'm going to leave it there to cool. In fact, I'm really sorry. It's been an awesome night actually, but that wind has got a real chill to it, and it's kind of hard. I've had the pot next to the fire, and the side that's next to the fire has been boiling away, but the other side of the pot, it's just, I don't know, it's just not been. It's like almost like there's been that temperature difference across it. But I'm going to leave it, I'm going to let it cool. I've got some nice bread, and I'm going to tuck into it shortly. I'm not burning myself on it. It's spent hours cooking. Hello again. Well, I've eaten my my stew, my corned beef hash, or Lobbies, wherever you're from you call it a different thing. It was really, really nice. It's just gonna be a case now. I've got another beer or two to finish off, and then it'll be a case of getting into the sleeping bag. It's about 8:30 at night, but that's kind of part of the beauty of getting out into the wild. You know, it's amazing how quickly you get in sync with nature. Managed to spill quite a bit of my food down the front of me, but you know, you can't pick it up on the camera at this night. Oh, Eddie Rod. I'll catch up with you again when I'm in my sleeping bag. So, sit tight and enjoy. Well guys, good night. It's my first winter camp. Absolutely loving it. The food was good in the end, really good. I'm kind of sorry I didn't show it you, but I just wanted to scarf it down, and it was really good. So yeah. Anyway, you take care, and I'll speak to you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. Had a reasonable night's sleep last night. I'm not sure what time I woke up. I like to go out well with pay. You never want to do that, do you? Sorry, I've got to sort my lights out. You never want to get out your sleeping bag, do you? Especially in December. I must admit, I was alright warmth-wise last night. But everything I've got, like my sleeping bag and my self-inflating mattress or whatever, they seem to be designed for people that are like about 5'8", 5'9". They're just not quite long enough for somebody who's 6 foot. I mean, my sleeping bag was alright. Excuse me. My sleeping bag was alright as long as I slept on my side and I sort of bent my legs a little bit. But I tend to sleep on my back, like bolt straight. And so my sleeping bag wasn't quite coming up to, you know, my chin. I couldn't tuck down into it properly. And my feet are hanging off. When I do that as well, my feet are hanging off the end of my mattress. Is it called a mattress? I don't know. But it's still a really good night. Still a really good night. So I think it's about 20 to 8, something like that. So I'm going to get up and put a brew on. Fancy a coffee. So I'll get back to you once I've got my brew on. Walking around the tent, I've noticed there's ice on the tent. So it got below freezing last night. Never camped below freezing before. I'm quite proud of myself for that one. Don't know if you can see it there or not, but that is the moon still out. So I've made my brew and I've knocked up some breakfast. Good old-fashioned bacon bam. So yeah, a few lessons learned from this trip. If you're going to make something like a stew or a casserole or something like that by the fire, they need hours to cook, absolutely hours. Don't start drinking before you eat it, because by the time you get to eat it, you've been drinking on an empty stomach for a couple of hours and you're pretty toasted. Well, you know what, everything worked out fine. And I'm here. Saw a stag and some deer on the way in yesterday. I was really hoping to see one down here this morning, but Well, I'm going to have my breakfast, I'm going to get camp packed away, and then I'll do my leave no trace shot. Well, there's my leave no trace. The fire pit was already there. There are multiple fire pits here. I just don't understand why people have to make a fresh one. Just use the same one every time. I know I keep banging on about it, but it's just annoying. I'll just go over. Oh, that's where the fire was. Properly doused the area. So I can see where my tent has been. The rest of it is frozen grass. Brilliant. So I've got to negotiate this. I don't fancy doing it holding the camera in my hand because that will be the time that I slip. So in that case, Glen Etive revisited, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.